It's not going to interfere. Now I can work on these pipes without interference and without confusion. So now I might decide to go ahead and bring that washer vent out and through the roof.
So by doing it this way, you could draw or have it captured where you could draw a fixture at a time if needed.
That's right, and you can zoom into that fixture and edit it and add pipes without the rest of the drawing getting in the way. Same is true with this bathroom down here. In side view, I've got, that's not so bad, but I could zoom into one part of it or one fixture, go to side view, zoom out a little bit, and now I can work with that by itself without anything else getting in the way.
Mark, I'm looking at the side view that you have shown right there. Those pieces that are somewhat black and white, are those 2x4s?
Oh, yes. This is the 2x4 framework. These are the walls that we drew in the plan view. They're kind of an aqua color, but in the side view, that represents the framing of those walls.
You can actually see your plumbing wall as you're plumbing it up inside that wall, or of course, if your pipes are outside the wall, then you can tell right off that your plumbing's not going to work because, of course, you're outside the wall. That's
exactly right. I'll show you a little example of where you might have a problem if, and the side view will help you. Well, let me cancel that. I meant to draw a wall. I'm going to draw a wall here, and let's say this is another little bathroom, and I'm going to put a lavatory in there, get it turned the proper angle. I'm going to leave it outside the wall. I might not catch that on when I first place it, but when I go into side view and I see that lavatory, this lavatory here, I can see that it's outside the wall now. So now to adjust it, I'll just click on that circle and move it on into the wall. Or I'll just click on the circle and I'll drag it with the mouse. Either way. Or I could click the circle and I can move it with the keys, the arrow keys on the keyboard, if I want to be a little more precise. So either way is fine. And once I see it's in the wall properly, you see now it looks like it's pretty much in the wall. Now I can go ahead and connect that by going back to DWV, select 2-inch pipe size, and I'll click on the drain and drag it over here, and there it is.
Mark, if I can point out, can you go back to side view again?
Sure.
One thing that I don't know if I'm sure they're just trying to keep up a mile a minute and of course doing some things on their screen, but over on length, I think that's a real important feature that you may want to mention to them, because I'm noticing that every time you make a change, it's changing the length and keeping up with that.
Oh, the length box, absolutely. The whatever pipe you have highlighted, you can see its length up here in the length box. And if you need the cut length, that's also represented over here in this box.
So it's actually figuring on this project we're doing what, Schedule 40 PVC?
Yes.
So on this particular project, not only does it give it the total length, but it actually gives the cut length of that actual cut piece on the chop saws at the time that it goes for the install. Is that correct?
That's correct. In other words, it's compensating for the size of these fittings. Here's a combo that sweeps way out here. So your cut length is almost always going to be smaller than the actual distance from center to center. In other words, the length will be, let's see, the length will be from here to here. The cut length compensates for the various fittings. So
that's a nice feature where you don't have to go off to your takeoff books. I mean, this literally is a tool in itself where it's a time saver that you have to go out there and figure that math portion.
Right, and if you highlight a pipe that's already been drawn, it indicates the length as well. And as you can see here, it'll give you the cut length up here of any pipe that's highlighted. So that's a good point. Let's see now, where was I? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and, excuse me, we can finish out these vents. Our code requires at least one 2-inch vent through the roof on every building. Actually, it reads no smaller than half the size of the building drain, or no smaller than 2 inches in any case. So I can connect these vents together. Let's say I want to connect this lavatory vent over to that washer vent. I can come up into the ceiling space, and then I can click on the end of that vent there, drag it over to the washer vent, release it, and it's going to make my connections for me. We'll go to isometric view, and I'll show you what I mean. This is the pipe that I actually drew, and it brought an additional pipe back over and into the washer vent. So it's drawn in 3 dimensions while you're only working in 2 dimensions. Let's view fitting labels. See, it gave me my quarter bends that I needed and my sanitary tee over here. Okay. So anyway, you can edit your vents just like you do the rest of it. Now the only thing left is I've got a vent over here. If I don't want to use an air admittance valve over here, I'll go to front view, and I can bring this vent out individually, or I can tie it in with this other vent stack and use the same vent pipe. So that's a complete plumbing system. Is in terms of DWV. Now we haven't added any water distribution yet, but I want to demonstrate what you can derive from this drawing here. We've already talked about the pipe cut list, which I'll do that. I'll click on Create Pipe Cut List DWV.
Let me see if they can follow along on this one, because this is a really neat feature. So for whatever you've drawn so far, guys, you're going to get maybe a few lines, something that's on the screen in front of you. At this point, go ahead and follow along with this Create feature. That way you can go ahead and pull together what he's fixing to show you as far as what this tab can do. Whatever you created so far, let's see what this tab can do.
Okay, I'll click Create, and we want to create a pipe cut list, DWV. And then now it's asking me what phase of construction, because if we're doing a underground slab, we're not going to be cutting pipe for the rough end phase, we call it. We're just wanting the slab pipes, which is all the piping below this floor level. It's going to ignore all these vents. We click OK, and there is listed every pipe in that drawing below the slab, or at least that starts below the slab. It may extend up 10 feet in the air, but if it starts below the slab, it will be in this list. Okay, we see pipe numbers in this column, and the pipe size in this column, and the length. This is what you're going to need here, the length. And the distance to floor is just a reference. It's the distance of the end of that pipe to the floor level. We don't use that very often, but it's there if you need it. I'd like to try to tie this together in terms of this cut list. The pipe number here, you're probably wondering what that is. what that pipe number is every pipe in this whole drawing has a number. And the way you derive that, or the way you get that, is you click View, Pipe Numbers, and here you can see every pipe number below the slab. Now, these numbers correspond to the numbers in the pipe cut list. Pipe cut list. There we go. Okay, here's pipe number 18. And that's pipe number 18 down here. That pipe is 9 foot 6 3/4 inches. We can just verify that by highlighting it. And you look here, that cut length is 9 foot 6 3/4 inches.
So say, based off of the blueprint, all your dimensions, you're doing your walls to what you're seeing on the blueprint, to what you're sketching now. With this cut list, you can turn this basically over, which is ideally following along with the blueprint to, say, your apprentice or technicians, and they know exactly where that piece goes on the exact location of where it would be placed if, say, we're doing a rough in or coming out of a wall or whatever it may be. It's giving it that much detail.
Absolutely. This is a means of cross-checking your slab, your underground slab work. Okay, this is very helpful in doing slabs. We use it a lot here because we know where each fixture is. And so if for any reason when we assemble these pipes, if we don't end up at that fixture, that tells us that there's an error somewhere, and it may be that they formed the slab incorrectly. I've found many times, I've checked on the concrete guys, found out the concrete guys didn't read the plans right, and the only reason we found that is because our pipes didn't end up where they should. And that's a good segue to the next little item I want to mention.